Okay, gentlemen, we went over the expectations in the dressing room. I want a good, clean fight. When I say stop, I want you to stop what you're doing, protect yourself at all times, and obey my commands. Okay, gentlemen, ready at the bell. Let's go.
Unified rules, no 3 knockdown rule, no standing 8 count. Fighter cannot be saved by the bell. Only the referee can stop the fight. No decision if an accidental foul stops the fight before the completion of 4 rounds. A look at F.A. Ajagba, 25 years of age, from Nigeria. Moved to the Houston area in 2017 to train with Ronnie Shields and Ali Eren Demirezen, 29 years of age, native of Turkey, spends some of his time training in Germany. This is his U.S. debut. Scheduled for 10 rounds in the heavyweight division. Ajagba has knocked out 7 of his 10 career opponents in the first round. We are underway in Las Vegas. Unbeaten heavyweights, and it's the first time a pair of 2016 Olympians are facing one another in the professional ranks.
And only one guy to go past a few rounds with Ajagba was Rodney Hernandez, I'm sorry. And Hernandez actually finished on his feet. So, you know, there's a little bit of a comparison to Hernandez and Demirezen in the fact that they're both kind of trickier fighters than you might think. Demirezen, I watched some tape on him. He'll keep coming, and once he gets motoring, if he can get past the big power, he puts a lot of punches together and puts a lot of pressure on it. So let's see if he can not get hurt early and make this a fight.
Well, first he has to get past Ajagba's jab, and I know Ajagba's working that jab. That's the first thing he's supposed to do in that ring in the first round, and he's doing that perfectly.
Well, see, this is what Demirezen does well, though. He's actually got a clever defense. He slips, he slides, he's slipping, and he keeps his hands up real well. So he could make it competitive for maybe the first time in Ajagba's career.
Lennox mentioned the jab of Ajagba. He told us yesterday, I'm going to test him with my jab. I'm going to find out early if he can take it. I'm also going to move my head around, try to make him miss.
Well, even if he makes him miss, he still has to make up the ground because Ajagba has long arms, so he has to make up that ground with his feet.
Well, they just both threw left hooks, and Ajagba's looked like it landed a little bit stronger than Demirezen's, but they both touch each other with left hooks just now.
Ajagba in his first 10 pro bouts has got only 16 rounds due to the 7 first-round knockouts. He's fought past the second round only once, as you referred to, Joe.
You see Demirezen right now, he keeps his hands up real well. He keeps the middle closed up pretty well. You're going to have to really go around those arms. Ajagba's going to have to go around those arms, maybe go to the body a little bit more on him instead of trying to headhunt on him.
Yeah, well, what Ajagba needs to do is circle. You know, he's throwing that jab, but he needs to circle to his left as well, or to his right, but not be a standing target.
And that's something you did really great. You know, come on. I mean, so, you know, I'm sure you put yourself in this position and say, here's what I'd be doing right now. And I think you're exactly right. But Ajagba's got a little bit different style than you in the fact that, you know, he's still young and he's got a lot to learn.
Yeah, no, by circling, he's definitely giving him different angles. So that's very important.
Time winding down in round 1, scheduled for 10. Welcome back. F.A. Ajagba, Ali Eren Demirezen, both represented their respective countries in the 2016 Olympics in Rio. Ajagba representing Nigeria made it to the quarterfinal round. Demirezen representing Turkey advanced to the round of 16. Who had the edge, Lennox, in round 1?
I'd say Ajagba right now because, you know, he's getting that jab out there. And Ali couldn't get as close to him as he wanted to. He has to really make it up with his feet now, try and get closer to Ajagba.
Punches landed in round 1, 14 for Ajagba, only 5 by Demirezen. Round 2 scheduled for 10 from MGM Grand Garden Arena in Las Vegas. It's the PBC on Fox. Pacquiao Thurman later tonight on pay-per-view.
Yeah, that jab's really working well for Ajagba right now. You can see Demirezen, he came out with a little bit more purpose in his aggressiveness this round, and he just landed a great jab himself right now. So this is a 10-round fight. Anything can happen, but I think Demirezen is going to probably stay around for a few rounds here. And I'm sure his corner is hoping that he can start landing his own punches. He's just got to get close enough, like right there, through that little overhand right.
Yeah, he's trying to find some way through Ajagba's defense right now. He's continually throwing that hook, like if Ajagba's got his hands down, but his hands is up.
Ajagba telling us yesterday, I wouldn't mind going the distance at some point.
Of course, I mean, if you go
big right there by Demirezen.
Yeah, if he went in there and knocked out everybody out, he wouldn't be learning too much. So I think he wants to make sure that he goes a couple more rounds. His hands is up nice and tight, so that's good.
Well, in the meantime, Demirezen, as you pointed out, Kenny, landed a right hand, and then he followed up with another one, and another one right there. So he's starting to touch Ajagba a little bit. And look at that. He keeps those arms up good. He rides out the punches. That left hook right hand, he wrote it out, and he tried to come back with his own counter punch. So Demirezen's a pretty smart guy in there, and he just might, he's looking for that uppercut off those double hooks, but he just might give Ajagba a little bit of a test tonight. Look, he's a former Olympian, just like Ajagba. They didn't go far in the Olympics, but they made the Olympic team. So we got two talented heavyweights here.
Final minute, round 2, scheduled for 10.
You know, of course, Tyson was only an alternate as a heavyweight. You know, and we know what he did eventually. He was a better pro than he was an amateur. And of course,
couple of left jabs there by Ajagba.
To land the title, so you did it all.
Demirezen needs to get a little closer if he wants to do a little bit more damage, but he's not doing the damage right now because he's not that close.
Time winding down in round 2 from Las Vegas. Welcome back, round 3. F.A. Ajagba fighting into the 3rd round for only the 2nd time in his pro career. Went 5 with Rodney Hernandez back in November of 2017. Oh, big left by Demirezen.
And Ajagba did the right thing. He got caught up against the ropes, and he threw an uppercut left hook and made sure he turned his back towards the center of the ring.
And then Ajagba came back with a right. How'd you score round 2, Lennox?
Ajagba.
So you've given Ajagba each of the first 2 rounds.
Same here. I think Ajagba is kind of controlling the pace right now, but Demirezen is doing a few things here. He landed a few right hands that weren't very effective, but they were landing in the last round. And in this round, when he pinned Ajagba against the ropes, he landed a couple of good body shots, which Ajagba countered up the middle just like that. So, you know, he's trying to get something going for himself, but Ajagba steals it back and then comes out on top of the exchanges eventually. So he's winning the rounds by doing that. It was a good right hand by Demirezen right there.
Demirezen throws some overhand rights, and they're coming around a bit wide. Ajagba has to worry about that because, you know, he's used to boxing normal guys that throw straight punches, but there's some guys that throw wild punches that you can put your hands up and they can still hit you because they come around the gloves.
Midway through round 3, scheduled for 10 from MGM Grand Garden Arena in Las Vegas. Total punches landed and thrown. Ajagba up over 200 punches thrown, but he's landed only 17%. Demirezen has landed 34%. Ajagba, a soccer player as a youngster, got into a street fight, and then a couple of his friends brought him to the gym, started boxing at the age of 17. That was only 8 years ago. And he told us yesterday, we asked him if he still plays soccer. He said, no, I don't want to get injured.
Well, that was me as well, because I like to play basketball and football. And when I started boxing, my trainer said, stop. No more boxing. You could hurt a finger, and that would wreck your boxing career. So I listened.
Never snuck out onto the court.
Absolutely.
Down to 25 seconds on the clock here in round 3.
Oh, good right hand right there. You know, Demirezen has kind of found a little home for that little looping right hand over the top.
3 rounds in the books. In the upper left-hand corner, a look at Keith Thurman in his hotel room. Explain what we're looking at, Joe.
Well, you know, I've never used this contraption, but I've seen it before. If I'm not mistaken, it's a compression device that improves the circulation in your legs and so forth. So maybe he feels he needs it, and it helps.
He does sleep very often back at home in a hyperbaric chamber. Our thanks to both Keith Thurman and Manny Pacquiao for letting our cameras following them around today. They will get in the ring tonight on pay-per-view here at MGM Grand Garden Arena. This is round 4, scheduled for 10. Who'd you give the third round to, Lennox?
I would say it was a little bit closer, but Ajagba. And Ali's moving in a little bit closer now. What Ajagba needs to do is really mix up his punches so he's not timed, because Ali's holding up his hands and he's basically waiting for him to punch for him to react off of Ajagba's punch.
And I think Ajagba right now is content to maybe sit here a little bit closer. I think he doesn't respect the power from Demirezen right now, so I think he's going to make a little bit of a stand in the center of the ring here, close quarters, and see if he can land something like that. Look to land a quick, hard counter instead of just boxing and moving.
Plus, he's been working on, you know, boxing close quarters, so he's definitely exercising that at the moment.
Through 3 rounds, 75% of the punches landed by Ajagba were jabs. Demirezen with a wide edge and power punches landed over the first 3.
You know, I think if Ajagba's got wants to really have a good shot at hurting him in the next couple rounds, this is not a bad tactic. Now, if Demirezen was a really, really big puncher, like Ajagba was, well, he'd be better suited to box him a little bit. But I think he doesn't mind sitting down in the pocket with him for a minute or 2 here and see if he can maybe hurt him with some body shots or counter shots. See, like that. He's not moving as much as he was the past couple of rounds.
Final minute, round 4.
Demirezen is still being a headhunter. He should go to the body a little bit more, being a smaller guy, and kind of mix up his punches.
Ajagba at 6'5" has the 2-inch height advantage on Demirezen.
Well, Demirezen took your advice. He did throw a nice body shot. They both exchanged good body shots a few moments ago. But I just don't see the power coming from Demirezen to get that real respect from Ajagba right now. Ajagba's starting to back him up a little bit right now. And that's not a good sign for Demirezen.
Demirezen looking a bit weary as well, especially in this round. He's showing it.
Time winding down in round 4, scheduled for 10. As we head over to Heidi Androlo with Luis Ortiz. Heidi.
Thank you very much, Kenny. King Kong in the house tonight. I know you have been waiting for this rematch with Deontay Wilder for some time. Can you give us any idea of what's been talked about, a date, a time, a place?
King Kong aquí en la casa, Luis, se ha arreglado ya la revancha, ya hay día, fecha, hay todo preparado para la revancha.
Bueno, estoy esperando porque se acaba de decidir, sé que Wilder ha firmado una revancha. Se han hablado algo de lo mío, pero no veo nada concreto que digan ya, yo voy a pelear contigo, yo decido pelear contigo.
It's basically now in the initial stages. You know, there's very heated debate that it's going to happen.
Sé que tiene palabras.
He has the word that he said he's going to have the rematch, so I believe him.
What did you learn from that first fight with him that you're going to take into this one? Because I know it was a very emotional fight for you.
¿Qué aprendiste de la primera pelea que puede llevar a una segunda pelea aquí con frente a Wilder?
Que lo que aprendí fue que terminé esa pelea, fui directo a mi gimnasio. Mi entrenador me decía que yo estaba loco, fui a entrenar, a buscar mi segunda oportunidad, a limpiar mi nombre, y eso es lo que voy a hacer. Si tiré 900, voy a tirar el doble de los golpes, 1800, y yo soy ganador de ahí arriba, no soy un fantasma.
I'm a winner. I'm not a ghost. So that second fight that comes about, if after the first fight I went and I went right to the gym, and if I threw 900 punches in that fight, I'm going to throw 1,800 in the rematch. So I'm ready. This is going to be a war.
Sure. Absolutely. Deontay, what do you think of those words?
You know, those fighting words. And, you know, we'll see what happens when the fights happen. I think it's going to be an amazing fight, just like it was the first time. And I'm looking forward to it. I can't wait. And a lot of other people is anticipating this fight as well, too. So it's going to be an amazing fight. And I'm looking forward to knocking them out again, just like I did the first time.
All right. Thanks to Felix de Jesus for interpreting. Thanks to Heidi as well. Deontay Wilder, part of our team tonight here in Las Vegas. PBC Fight Night on Fox. This is round 5, scheduled for 10. F.A. Ajagba, native of Nigeria, and Ali Eren Demirezen from Turkey. As we welcome in our unofficial scorer, Marcos Villegas. Marcos, what have you seen so far?
I have a 38-38. I have a pretty competitive fight. I know Demirezen has been blocking a lot of punches and landing a good variety of power punches. It's going to come to what the judges prefer, if they're liking the jab of Ajagba, or are they liking the power punching and selection of Demirezen.
Good right hand by Ajagba right there.
All right, so Lennox, you gave Ajagba the first 3 rounds. Marcos disagrees. He gave Demirezen 2 of the first 3.
Well, he's looking for different things. I'm looking for the jab, and the jab leads the way in every fight for me. And to me, Ajagba just threw the jab a lot and was landing a lot.
And right now, Ajagba is really starting to put the hurt on Demirezen right now. He's got him puffed up, red eyes right now, bloody mouth. Now Demirezen just threw that little looper right hand and then a left hook and scored there. But for the most part, he's been getting hit with real solid shots from Ajagba in close. Ajagba's starting to assert himself now, walking him down and holding his ground.
And Ajagba's throwing different punches as well. He's not throwing the jab. He was throwing a jab in the earlier rounds. Now he's mixing it up. He's throwing to the body, he's throwing some uppercuts, throwing some hooks. And this is what he needs to do.
Ajagba said during the week he won't last. I'll knock him out in the first 2 rounds. Well, that was not the case. Time winding down in round 5, scheduled for 10 in the heavyweight division. Welcome back. Kenny Albert, Lennox Lewis, Joe Goosen, Heidi Androl from Las Vegas. PBC Fight Night on Fox as we get set for round 6 of this bout. And then coming up next, our main event on Fox for the IBF Super Middleweight Championship. Mike Lee and Caleb Plant. Plant, the current champ, both unbeaten, as are Ajagba and Demirezen. And for Ajagba, guys, his 11th pro fight. This is the first time he's gone past 5 rounds.
Oh, I think he wants to go past 5 rounds. This is good work for him.
As he told us yesterday, he said, I wouldn't mind going the distance. I look forward to it. Only 16 career rounds as a pro coming into this fight.
Well, those are little mixed messages. I mean, he said he was going to stop him in 1 or 2, but
right.
Yet he wouldn't. So, you know, I mean, look, you never know what's going to happen in a fight. But I think if he wants to stop Demirezen, what he's doing is he's countering 1 or 2 punches at a time. He's going to start letting his hands go. And I'm talking about Ajagba. If he really wants to knock him out and start putting some combinations together, 5, 6, 7 punches in a combination, he's capable of doing it.
Demirezen's still dangerous, though, especially in this close.
Total punches landed. Ajagba closing in on 100. He had the edge in round 5, 25-12. Demirezen telling us this is a big platform, big opportunity for me, fighting in the United States for the first time. He's been here for 2 weeks training, leading up to this bout.
And Ajagba did throw about 5, 6, 7 punches right there in that combination, in that last combination. But Demirezen is really, he's landing some of his own. Great left uppercut by Ajagba on left hook. But
good uppercut.
Yeah, Demirezen's landing some of his own clean shots as well. There was a nice little touch to the body with the right hand, then followed by a right uppercut. But he's been landing some good chopping left hooks and chopping right hands like that. Again, he's been doing that all night.
See, that's the only thing I'm concerned about with Ajagba. You know, that he can throw his hands out there. They're so long and then keep them down. He needs to bring them right back to his face, his chin, to protect it.
There's a good little right hand and then ending with a jab by Ajagba. So he's doing that well. It's a good little left hook to the body by Demirezen. Look, Demirezen didn't make it to the Olympics because he wasn't a good fighter. I mean, he had to be very good to make it to the Olympics. So, you know, he's proven himself to be very tough here. I just think if he had a little bit more power, this might be a different type of fight.
Has anything surprised you to this point, Lennox?
Not really. Ajagba really needs to keep this fight at distance. He does a lot better when his arms are longer and he's got that jab popping out. But in close, I don't like him because it more allows Demirezen to get his hands on him, to be able to punch him. And at distance, Demirezen has to kind of move in, and he misses with looping punches, so he should keep it at long distance.
And Ajagba does have the 5-inch reach advantage on Demirezen. Join us on Twitter. Let us know who you got in tonight's pay-per-view main event between Manny Pacquiao and Keith Thurman. Tweet your vote to @PBC on Fox. This is round 7 in the heavyweight division, scheduled for 10. F.A. Ajagba averaging 87 punches thrown per round. That is well above, nearly doubling the heavyweight average, Lennox, of 45 punches thrown per round.
This is good, the fact that he's keeping his hands going, and he needs to keep his hands going because this is a dangerous guy that is in against. Keep the distance like he's doing, taking a step back. As you can see, Demirezen has moved up the pace a little bit. He wants to get closer. His corner has told him to get closer to F.A. But while he's closer, he's got to do some damage in there.
Well, look at the total punches thrown. 550 for Ajagba, just over 300 for Demirezen. But the punches landed much closer margin, Lennox.
Yeah, it's much closer. I would say, you know, when you count a right hand or a jab, which one lands the best? I would say the jab first, and then the right hand.
Midway through round 7.
Good left hook by Ajagba.
Oh, and a good left hook by Demirezen right there in return. Look, this is one tough cat right here. Demirezen, look at this, throwing back 4, 5, 6 punches at himself. And I said from the beginning, he might be the one guy that's going to go some rounds with Ajagba unless he gets caught completely clean. But so far, Demirezen's shown to have a very clever defense. He's looking at those nice little slips. He keeps his hands up good. He blocks well. He parries well. And then he tries to counter with his own stuff. So I'll tell you what, he's given Ajagba a good lesson today. Oh, right hand by Ajagba.
Down to 40 seconds remaining in round 7.
Well, Ajagba might get his wish tonight. He might get that 10 rounds of working, and you know what? It might be very beneficial to him. It never hurts to go 10 rounds as long as you're not on the receiving end of a lot of punishment, and he has not been tonight. Ooh, great jab.
Down to 10 seconds.
Boy, Demirezen just keeps on coming, doesn't he?
And here's Ali Demirezen throwing some good combination. That was a 4 or 5 punch combinations at Ajagba.
And here's what happens, though. Once he gets touched, Ajagba twice right there. Now he got touched pretty good, but he's keeping his hands up well. And there's the uppercut. And let's see what Effie does here now after this combo. He lands a jab. There's that right hand. Didn't get all of it behind that right hand, but it was a nice stunning shot. But see, he could have followed up a little bit better off that 1-2 right there. When you stun a guy with that little right hand, he could have put a few more short shots together. So he'll go back and watch this and learn from it.
Let's check in once again with Marcos Villegas. Marcos.
I have it 68-65 Ajagba. He's doing a better job now of mixing up his attack. He's hitting Demirezen a lot more than he's getting hit. He just keeps popping that jab and scoring for me, so I got him up.
All right, thanks, Marcos. So Marcos has given Ajagba each of the last 4 rounds. Up 68-65 on Marcos' scorecard. You talked about the jab, Lennox.
Yeah. Good percentage.
Ooh.
See, that's what he has to be careful of. Ajagba's being too technical when he's throwing out the jab there. He's keeping it one speed. He needs to mix up the speed so he can't get caught on the counter punch.
Pacquiao Thurman coming up later tonight on pay-per-view, beginning at 9 Eastern, 6 Pacific. You can order it on pay-per-view or the Fox Sports app.
Demirezen almost wants him to throw that jab so he can work off of it. So very important to mix up your punches, sometimes soft, sometimes hard, sometimes not always at the head, throw to the body too, so your opponent's not expecting what punch you're going to throw.
Well, all I know is that if he wanted Ajagba to throw that jab, he got his wish because he ran into a jab right hand and another jab by Ajagba. I think you're right, though. He's got to get on the inside here. It's the 8th round. If he wants to win this fight, he's going to have to do something very drastic to Ajagba. I don't know if it's going to happen. Doesn't look likely, but he's trying very hard. And you got to give actually, he's got a very good style, and he could be somebody that could make his way in the heavyweight division here against some other fighters and win some fights. He's just up against a really good top prospect in Ajagba here.
Yeah, you're right. He keeps his hands up very well. His defense is good. And, you know, he works off of what you throw. You know, he's not afraid to take a punch to give a punch.
Exactly. Look, he's the first guy that's gone anywhere close to this distance. And he just took a sharp left hook off the chin. He just keeps walking right in at you.
2 unbeaten heavyweights, both Olympians just 3 years ago. Battling into the 8th round here in Las Vegas.
It's a nice left hook, right uppercut by Demirezen.
Yeah,
down to 20 seconds.
Demirezen knows he needs to pick it up, especially in these last rounds.
Left jabs there, Lennox by Ajagba.
Yep.
Another good right uppercut, left hook.
We enter round 9. Caleb Plant, the IBF Super Middleweight champ, getting set for his matchup with fellow unbeaten Mike Lee. There's Mike, the Chicago native, graduate of Notre Dame. Coming up next here on Fox. This is round 9. F.A. Ajagba, Ali Eren Demirezen. In round 8, Demirezen landed a fight-high 18 power punches and threw 57 power shots. That's a high for this bout as well.
There it is. 2 beautiful uppercuts followed by a left hook from Ajagba right there. I mean, I think Ajagba would like to have a knockout here, and I think he's going to have to take some chances in the next couple rounds that are left in this fight, 9 and 10.
This is the first time either fighter has gone to a 9th round. Ajagba had only fought past round 2 once in his career.
Ajagba hasn't really let go with that right hand. I haven't really seen him let go with that right hand, and you know, he hasn't really seen an opening to do it. So I think he should go more to the body, especially that left hook. Then there it was.
And you saw what happened. Ajagba hit him with a body shot, a right hand and a left hook, and Demirezen just kept coming. And I don't think it's that Ajagba doesn't have power. I know he does. I just think Demirezen has got a solid chin. Look at that. He's a rough character, Demirezen. I mean, he just pushed Ajagba off, and he got warned by the referee, Robert Hoyle, but man, he just pushed Ajagba back, so he's a strong guy, even after all the punishment he's been taking this fight. And he's been dishing out his own, don't get me wrong. Demirezen has landed some good punches. They haven't really affected Ajagba, but man, it's been a very competitive fight. This is not a one-sided fight.
More competitive, Joe, than you expected?
No, I think I said it at the beginning. I watched tapes of this guy, and he keeps on coming. I made the comparison that the one guy, Rodney Hernandez, that went 5 rounds with him, that he was a lot like him, except better. This is an Olympian in front of Ajagba. So I kind of had a feeling he might be able to take him some rounds. I didn't know he was going to take him this long, but I figured he might be able to, and he has. And it looks like he's going to probably last the fight.
Yeah. Ajagba working very good on the inside right now, throwing some nice uppercuts and body punches. And it's not like Demirezen's not trying. He's trying.
Oh, yeah. Oh, man, that's a beautiful jab left hook right there. Again. But it doesn't deter him. He just came back to Demirezen with a little 1-2 left hook himself.
Yeah.
Time winding down in round 9, scheduled for 10 here in Las Vegas. Welcome back to PBC Fight Night on Fox. David Benavides on hand, former WBC World Super Middleweight Champ. September 28th, he'll take on Anthony Durrell on Fox PBC pay-per-view. Benavides unbeaten 21-0, 18 via knockout. Watching a pair of undefeated heavyweights. The 10th and final round. F.A. Ajagba, Ali Eren Demirezen.
At the end of the round, the last round, Ajagba landed a really solid right hand. You know, he probably thought it would have had more effect than it did on Demirezen, but Demirezen in his defense has taken some great shots tonight and kept coming.
Demirezen's going to go for it this round. He realizes this is the last round and he's behind. I'm sure his corner told him that he's behind.
And I'm sure the corner for Ajagba told him the same thing. Look, he needs a knockout. He's way behind. So go ahead and box him. Don't take any unnecessary chances. Keep him at long range.
You know, when I look at Ajagba, he can do so much, and he's done so much already. So, you know, further down in his career, he's going to be a hard guy to beat.
Yep.
Well, his trainer, Ronnie Shields, told us he matches up well with Deontay Wilder in his mind, maybe Tyson Fury at some point in the future.
I will tell you something. Nobody's got the right hand like Deontay Wilder. Sorry. He's got the greatest right hand in the game right now.
But Ronnie Shields did say there's no rush. He'll be there in another year or so.
Yeah, I mean, you know, Ajagba's going to be developing his skills as he goes along, so he can develop a lot in a year.
Of course, but I'm saying right now, nobody in the sport has a right hand like Deontay Wilder. Heavyweight or flyweight.
No, when that right hand hits you, it's coming from a long distance, and the impact when it hits you is stunning.
Deontay on our team tonight, along with Chris Myers and Ray Boom Boom Mancini, Kate Abdo.
See, I'm seeing a lot of good things by Ajagba. You know, throwing that left hook and then moving to the left, throwing the uppercuts, keeping his defense tight, and even throwing the combinations. This is great.
And what great condition he's got. He's throwing a lot of punches. He's throwing a lot of punches. He's got a variety of punches. The left uppercut. He's got nice right hand by Demirezen right there. But right there, you know, throwing 3-punch combinations. And he's in great shape.
Plus, he's strong. most big guys like this don't really throw a lot of shots, so these guys are doing a good job, and they are in good shape.
Down to 30 seconds remaining in the 10th and final round.
Believe me, after this fight, both guys, but especially Ajagba and Ronnie Shields, are going to go back, watch the tape, figure out what they could have done more of or less of, for that matter, and they're just going to improve on it.
Yeah, I mean, the game plan for this fight was a good game plan, and you're right. They will improve on it. He will be better.
F.A. Ajagba told us, I would like to go the distance at some point. I look forward to it. After only 16 rounds in his first 10 pro bouts, he goes the distance, 10 rounds tonight against Eren Demirezen.
And here you see a great right hand by Ajagba. Wasn't really throwing too many. He was more focused on more inside fighting. This is where Maris came over with his looping right hands and caught Ajagba. And there you see some great right hands and body shots and uppercuts by Ajagba. This is what you don't see heavyweights do.
Well, that was the variety of punches I was talking about. See, he fights like a middleweight in a heavyweight's body.
Look at the total punches landed and thrown. Ajagba threw 877, landing 22%. Demirezen 564, landing 26% over 10 rounds. They both came in unbeaten. Ajagba 10-0, Demirezen 11-0 as professionals. The first pair of 2016 Olympians to face each other as pros. Time for the decision. To the ring, Jimmy Lennon Jr.
Ladies and gentlemen, after 10 rounds of action, the judges are in agreement. We have a unanimous decision. Here are the score totals. Judge at ringside, Steve Weisfeld, sees the bout 97-93. Judges Adelaide Bird and John McKay score the bout 99-91. All three in favor of the winner, and still undefeated, the one and only F.A. Ajagba.
F.A. Ajagba goes to 11-0, the winner by unanimous decision. Eren Demirezen suffers the first defeat of his professional career.